I am an individual, a black male with autism, autism spectrum disorder. It I was in special education all throughout school. And I had other disabilities as well, like attention deficit disorder. I also had intellectual developmental disorder, and a severe speech impediment as well, along with anxiety, depression, all the types of all the other type of stuff, post traumatic stress. Um, but also I am a college graduate. I have a associate's degree from St. Philip's College. I have two bachelors, one in criminal justice. My associate is also in criminal justice, and then my other bachelor's in public administration with a minor in civic engagement. Both all from the University of Texas at San Antonio, and then recently I had my master's in social work, and I got that from the University of Texas at Arlington. What helped me to get to where I am? One thing for sure, being a therapy, being seeing the counselor, seeing a therapist, seeing a psychiatrist, and the reason why I say that, and for me, being a black man, a black male, usually in the black community or any other or some certain community, there's some people, not all, but some people may look at you getting therapy or getting help as a sign of weakness, or you have a lack of faith, you don't pray enough, something along those lines is usually negative, or like a lack of understanding when it comes to disability or mental illness. So people may say those types of things about an individual that's trying to get help as a like for me as a black man, but it's probably happens in other community as well. But I'm not too don't know too much about that because I'm just grew up in the black community, of course. But it's a stigma associated with that, to trying to getting help, getting treatment, seeing somebody for mental illness or disability. They may look at that as negative. Me having a disability like autism, which is my main disability that I have. Some people, some what I've been told, or somebody that, or like my mom has been told. They said, "Oh, well, you need to." His autism means that his behaviors means that he's misbehaving, he's acting out. He needs to be disciplined. That kind of thing. So just stigmas and misinformation as well when it comes to helping the child with a disability and deal with mental illness. So that's like kind of one thing that's kind of an issue in the black community when it comes to those things. So for me, how I ended being seen by a therapist or a psychiatrist is because I had 3 suicide attempts. I tried to take my life, and I ended up being placed in a psychiatric hospital, or the other term could be behavioral hospital, behavioral center, inpatient facility. And I was there one time for a week, one time for 5 days, and one I was like almost 2 weeks. And even though my experiences wasn't the best at those places, um, the one good thing was actually they referred me to a therapist and a psychiatrist, where I actually got help and treatment. I have my therapist is a black female, so she kind of understands about some of those stigmas that are associated in the black community, as far as mental illness or a disability, and just being able to discuss the things I have. And it took me a while, of course. I didn't just connect with her right away. It took me a while to actually share my thoughts and how I feel about different things. And then also seeing a psychiatrist. I do take medications. I'm not ashamed of it. It helps me. I'm not ashamed of going and seeing a therapist. Both of those things has helped me be able to have a different aspect of life. But there was people when I was going through all of that, did tell me like different positive things, usually older individuals, like maybe like either a teacher that I had or a janitor, um, and that kind of thing. With my special education staff, they usually would they can kind of sense that I was depressed, down, hurt. I one time I came to school with a black eye and bruises and stuff like that, and they were asking me like what's going on, what happened, and I'll be deceptive and lie because I want to get in more trouble when I get home because they call the person, and they end up getting and they end up trying and he ends up doing something else harmful to me because of what I said in the school to a police officer or something to that effect. But they can sense what was going on. I had trouble trying to explain to them because, like I said, I was very quiet and shy in school. Didn't really talk to nobody. Very anxious about talking to people. I get anxiety and stuff like that. So that's, but it was just a few people that would tell me different things, um, such as you're gonna be something big in life. You're gonna be special and that kind of thing. Which I didn't believe at that time because of what I was going through, what I've been told. Like for example, my abuser would tell, like when I'm writing a assignment for school, that person will always say, "Well, you suck at writing, you suck at this, you will never be nothing, you will never amount to nothing, and you are sorry." Because I was a special education student with autism and didn't know how to write and read and speak and stuff like that. So I'll start believing what I've been told, and then my college professor, my English 1 and 2 composition professor at St. Philip's, well, my English, I had a different professor for Comp 1 and Comp 2, but both of them would say the same thing. I said, "You're a great writer," and it hit me. I said, "I'm a great writer." I'd never been told I'm a great writer. I always been told I'm a bad writer. Or I always get bad grades on writing assignments, reading assignments, especially reading assignments. Because I was had trouble reading. I was in the 9th grade reading at the 5th grade level, instead of elementary school grade level, and writing at a 5th grade level, and speaking at a 5th grade level, elementary level as well. So it wasn't a lot that was done. It was just that they kind of gave me trying to give me encouraging messages. What I'll say to them is that whatever it is that they're going through, whether it be bullying, abuse, mistreatment, it's not their fault. It's at all. You're the fact that people bully you, like for one, if they bully you and make you feel bad about yourself, it's because they have something going on with them. They have something that's they have some problems going on with themselves that has nothing to do with you. And also that if you're bullied, that means you have something that they don't, and they may be envious of you. But they want to do so. They want to make themselves feel better by making you feel worse about yourself. Like I said, they have something else, a quality that they have that they wish that the bully wish that they have. They see that in the person that they're bullying, their bullying victim, and you have something you're worth more than what people tell you that's bad that they feel is bad about you. And like I also say, their opinions don't matter. Their opinions about you doesn't matter. Their thoughts don't matter about you, because opinions and thoughts are not facts. The facts about you is the facts about you. That's what they. So I wrote it in 2018, right around the time I graduated with my bachelor's, and basically what the book is, it just describes my life in 7 chapters. The last 2 chapters were more, I guess, more positive, because the first 5 are kind of what I went through, like what I went through, my story and stuff like that. And I wrote it just for younger people or anybody that's been what I've been through, either to have a disability or been abused and that kind of thing. That there's hope, and there's hope out there, and that you can overcome what you're going through, and that you're always going to have some type of challenges and obstacles and stuff like that in your life. But it just matters how how you get through those challenges, and also getting help. I'm very big on getting treatment for mental illness and disabilities. I look at mental illness as just as important as physical health. So it just to reassure people when they're going through things, that they can get through stuff, and then learning about how I how I did it, and still living with a disability and mental health. There's a lot that of Black leaders that inspire me. Like one in particular, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He saw everybody as equal. He didn't discriminate. He didn't look at people less. He didn't look at people as less than him or less fortunate. I mean, Dr. Martin Luther King was a very smart man. He had a doctoral degree. His highest degree was a PhD. He had two-parent household, a mother and a father. I mean, I guess from the outside looking in, he had a pretty good life growing up, a college graduate as a Black man at a time where there was a lot of discrimination in the schools, and how a lot of racial injustice. A lot of that stuff was going on during his time. He was born on January 15th, 1929. So when he was born into the time of his death on April 4th, 1968, his 39 years of life, that's what he has experienced. All the racial tension, the the unfairness, untreatment, all that type of stuff he has experienced. And that the life that he had when had his doctoral degree, and he was I want to say he was a pastor in the church, like a reverend or like a minister in the church. But he could have done anything with that he had with because he had a doctoral degree, and he had like for me on the outside looking in, from what I see, it appears that he had a pretty good life, and he made a lot of good choices. But he chose to fight for those less fortunate than he was. I would say just being able to serve the community that I'm a part of, being able to see people succeed. When it comes to having a disability, and being on the autism spectrum disorder, being able to communicate and be and discuss how being a Black man and having autism has affected me, or having a mental illness, and just giving a different perspective